Well, just before the service started, someone came up to me and asked if I'd been here 50 years, which hurts. It hurts. But I've been here a long time. And it gets pretty darn challenging to come up with something new for Christmas every year. I mean, you think about it, it's a great story, profundity, and you get past the trappings of the story. Because if you read books and they're all, we stick them all together, but they kind of contradict each other. I mean, the story breaks down pretty quickly to logic. We have people in the East that look and see the star, which probably means they were astrologers, which we're not supposed to believe in astrology, but except for Christmas, because they found their way across. If you ever try to follow a star, you realize that's pretty tough. It speaks to a part of our heart that sometimes sleeps the rest of the year. There's something about Christmas, particularly I think the great hymns that bring a message, which is very mystical if you think about it. It does something healing to our heart that nothing else quite does. There's no success we can have, no amount of wealth we can have, and the joy that comes from trusting that truth. We are one, and every one of us counts. Now, unfortunately, what that takes us to is the political meaning of Christmas, which is not what people want to hear on Christmas. And that has become more and more of a problem because probably like most of you, I was taught the privatized Jesus is singing a song of revolution. She's saying this baby is going to bring the mighty low and lift up the lowly. That's a revolution. But it's based on love. It's not based on hating the oppressor. It's based on compassion. It's based on that assurance that we are one and every one of us counts. In the hymn we're going to listen to in just a moment, "O Holy Night," I didn't realize too that so many of the great hymns have political verses that get taken out. "It Came Upon the Midnight Clear" has an anti-war passage that the church took out because that's controversial, right? We want to sing about peace on earth, but we also, want to, not be suckers and to be strong and to be able to take care of ourselves. "Long lay the world in sin and error pining." All of the Christmas stories look realistically at the world. They're not denying the center of the story. Well, not the center. Jesus is the center, but he's very prominent. But it's a love that is so deep and profound that it transforms that story and by implication would transform our story. That we have Herods of our own. That can all be repaying the oppressor of infinite worth. And you stop selling yourself to try to get someplace that would make you important. That is a huge moment in a person's life. When you realize there's no salary that adds fire back into Christmas if it's going to last all year round. It doesn't take away from the peace. It doesn't take away from the joy. It just makes it real. One of the huge problems we have in this culture, I think, and they stopped having that here just because I whined about it all the time, is the porcelain nativity scenes. Now, there's nothing wrong with them per se, except for they give the idea that the people in the story were European. Right? You ever seen the pictures of the Jesus that looks like he's a ski instructor? I was raised on that stuff. Raised on the stuff. The only whites in the manger were the sheep. The people in the manger scene looked Middle Eastern. Guess why? without numbing ourselves to what our duty is going to be after we've rested, after we've recharged. This is how Howard Thurman, who is a great inspiration from Martin Luther King, he said, when the song of the angels to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among others, to make music in the heart. It's not a burden. It's a joy that is spilled over into the rest of the world. It's strong enough to see and witness the injustice and oppression of the world without losing its own hope. When I was a kid, when I was in high school, I ran across this letter supposedly by in the pocket of a Confederate soldier who had died. It was a poem that was in the... And he said, I asked for strength that I might achieve. I was made weak that I might learn humbly to obey. I asked for health that I might do greater things. I was given infirmity that I might do better things. I asked for riches that I might be happy. I was given poverty, impoverished child, born in a manger, a cattle feeder. The story is told with contradictions. A king born in a cattle stall, a virgin mother, a light shining in the darkness, a silent word. All of those things are saying don't stop at the surface of the story. This is a story about your infinite worth. This is a story reminding you that you are a child of the universe, that you have a sacred calling and a sacred song that brings your heart to life. The angels sang, peace on earth, goodwill to all. But you will find your own version of what the children taught us earlier today. We are one, and every one of us counts. Thank you for being here tonight.